Nas, thanks very much for joining me.
Hi Saj, how you doing, mate?
All good. How's the jet lag, Nas?
Yeah, I'm struggling with the jet lag. I'm still on India time, so I keep falling asleep about 9 p.m. But back in the country, enjoying the rain, the cold, the dark, and missing India and the pool around the Mumbai Trident Hotel, mate.
That's what you're missing most about that World Cup.
The culture. I've done small little trips to India. I've done the cricket in Mumbai. I've been out to see Stokes and interviewed him for a documentary. So I've done little bits in India, but I hadn't done a big, long stint, 7 weeks, which is what the World Cup was. North, south, east, west, Dharamshala, I'd never been. Loved it up there. Unfortunately, didn't go back to the land of my birth, Chennai, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the tournament, Saj. Really did.
And that's 7 weeks. Some people would say that's too long for a World Cup.
Yeah, I noticed halfway through, actually, a lot of people saying that, and it did feel long, because we've had a lot of World T20s, which is what, done and dusted in a month. But I look back to the last World Cup in England, it was around about the similar sort of time frame. But I guess things are changing and people want slightly quicker tournaments. What I didn't like was the length of a game. I know the ICC are trying to introduce stop clocks and things like that now. And obviously there was the famous Angelo Matthews timed out situation as well in one of the games. But, we would start, first ball would go down at 2 o'clock. And like at 6:10 or something, the day-night games, the first innings was still going on. So I do think that the length of games need to be looked at. It is just taking too long to bowl 50 overs, mate.
The Australians, Nas, they're just formidable, aren't they? They started slowly and then just stepped up the gears, and there you go, before you know it, they're heading home with the cup.
Yeah, they were slow before the tournament, weren't they? They'd lost the last few games in South Africa, and then they had a real tough start. They had India in Chennai and South Africa, who were playing some brilliant cricket at the start of the tournament. Trying to think where it was. Lucknow, and they had South Africa. I've never seen an Australian side field like that. They dropped a lot of catches. But, typical Australia, once they won that first game against Sri Lanka, they went off on a run. They started to play some really good cricket, and they just got better and better with every game. Then they had the Maxwell innings, which was quite brilliant. It was one of the great white ball innings that has ever been played, which just kept the momentum going. The win against Afghanistan, South Africa, memories of the 99 World Cup semi-final at Edgbaston on a tricky pitch. They overcame South Africa, again fielded brilliantly, and then winning the final. That was one of the great World Cup wins to go to Ahmedabad and, silence the 100,000 plus crowd and put in the performance they did was truly amazing. 6 times world champions now.
Many people's favourites, and the form team really, India, was it just a step too far for them in the final?
No, I still think they're a great team. Anyone who watched them throughout the tournament, they were well led by Rohit Sharma, absolutely set the tone. He wanted them to play this fearless brand and style of cricket, and he absolutely did that. And obviously Virat Kohli and the way he batted throughout the tournament, the records he broke, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Mohammad Shami, Bumrah, I could go on and on, Jadeja, etc. They played the perfect tournament till the last game. And they came up against, it was the informed side against the serial winners that were Australia. And I think it was the pitch, I said throughout the tournament, they played England, that ended up hammering England by 100 runs. But when I saw that pitch, I thought, just be careful, India. You won't play on good pitches, because on good pitches, you will beat anyone, I reckon. But the slow, low pitch, absurdly, really, you'd think would suit the subcontinent side, but actually it just sort of stifled them. And also, I said before the tournament, having the long tail that they do with Shami at 8, if they do lose 2 to 3 quick wickets, they have to build a partnership, and that's exactly what Virat and KL had to do. They had to take their time, because otherwise Mohammad Shami's getting his pads on at number 8, and you've still got 20 overs left, so they had to take that innings deep. And then, it was such a brave decision in a World Cup final to win the toss, Pat Cummins, and bowl first was such a brave decision, and it ended up being the right decision. It's one of those decisions that, sometimes weak captains, they do things because if it's a bad outcome, it doesn't make them look as bad. So if you say, right, well, we'll bat first and then we lose, well, you made the right decision in the toss, you didn't play particularly well. But if you lose having bowled first in a World Cup final and India go and smash 350, then you'll always be remembered as that captain that messed up the toss in a World Cup final. So I really loved the way Cummins took the brave decision and the right decision, and backed his bowlers and backed his side, and they played the perfect game, and they had to, because it was not everything was against them, but the crowd was against them, and they were playing the informed side in the competition, unbeaten India.
Moving on from the brilliance of India and Australia to England, who were many people's, not favourites, but people thought they'd make at least the semi-finals and that. Where did they go wrong?
Well, I agree with you. I don't know any pundit, and I've obviously done a few shows and preview shows and spoken to journalists and pundits. I think virtually everyone had them in knockout cricket. They were going to get through the semi-finals. They'd just beaten New Zealand in a series in England, playing some good cricket. I just think they were a little bit undercooked, and they hadn't played enough international 50-over cricket. They'd sort of, Rob Key and Stokes and McCullum had sort of prioritised the Test match side, because that had been obviously on the wane, had a really difficult couple of years under Root, and our Test match cricket was going in the wrong direction. So with Bazball and everything about that, putting the focus rightly back on Test match cricket in England, maybe they just took their eye off the ball. Maybe they had to, because there's so much, the schedule was so hectic, maybe, and we have so many multi-format players, maybe they had to rest the odd player here and there, and they took their eye off the ball. And if you stay still in anything in life, you'll be surprised, because any sports psychologist will tell you that if you stay still, people will go past you. And I think that's what happened. England stayed still as a white ball side, and India and South Africa and Australia and New Zealand just went past them. They were looking to improve all the time. The challenge for Key and Mott and McCullum and Stokes is to try and grow Test match cricket and improve Test match cricket and white ball cricket throughout the calendar year. That is easier said than done.